Hi, Timothy Carlson here, and it's record time again. But this time we're not going to be looking at record releases, we're going to be looking at a record player. About a year ago, I picked up a Victrola 8-in-1 record player, did a review for it on my channel. What I was not expecting was for that to become the most popular video in the history of my channel. So I thought it might be an interesting time to look at another record player. This is going to be a little more lower end, entry level, but it is something that's become very popular with a lot of people spanning all generations. Very cool to see vinyl growing in popularity again. What we're looking at today is this. This is the Victrola Bluetooth Turntable. Essentially, this is Victrola's answer to the Crossley Cruiser, which has been the most popular record player on the market for several years now. Great entry-level point for people who may just be getting into the vinyl thing or getting back into it. So I'll unbox this, I'll show it off, test it out, and I'll share my verdict. So here's a look at the front of the player. These come in several different designs. This is an American flag design. I actually got this for my brother for last Christmas. I got a few of these for people last year for Christmas presents. Here you can see a nice view of the closed player on that side, as well as the features. 3-speed turntable, stereo speakers, Bluetooth connectivity, aux-in RCA output, and headphone jack. And then another look at it on this side. Here's the back of the box, pretty much the same as the front. On the top there we got our Victrola logo. Bottom down here we just got the barcode and some other information. So, let's open this thing up. Okay. Here's our player. We'll go ahead and take it out of the box now. Right here we've got our instruction manual. Got the power supply there. And our actual player is in here. Okay, here we go. We got this out of the box now. We're just taking off the styrofoam and the protective pieces here. So we're gonna put that aside. Here we can see our platter itself. Got to get this protective piece off the end of the needle before we play anything. And some of this stuff is, put in place for packaging purposes. Okay. So we'll zoom in a little, get a closer look at the player. Okay. Right here, we've got our main platter. 45 adapter right here for playing the 7-inch records. We've got our arm right here and the lever. Then that just falls back onto here, and there's a clamp you can slide over to hold it in place. Here we have our on-off switch for the auto stop feature. Even my 8-in-1 downstairs doesn't have a switch to turn that off, which is a little annoying. Kind of surprising that actually ended up on a cheaper player of all things. Then we have our adjustment lever here for I'll turn the player so you can see that a little better, but that's the switch for the speeds, 33, 45, 78. I don't own any 78 records, so unfortunately we're not going to be testing those out. I also don't have any of the needles that you need for those. And then right here you got our adjustment switch for the different formats. BT over here for Bluetooth. And then phono, of course, for the record player. This is our power switch / volume knob. There's a headphone hole right, I'll move the camera a little, right there, which says headphone. And then up here, line in, I guess if you want to connect speakers. And I'll turn this around real quick to just show off the back. Actually, for the front, you can see the speakers of the unit right down there by the handles. And of course, there's a clamp, so you can easily put this back into place for portable purposes. Now let's take a look at the back of the unit while it's opened. Got a nice look at the American flag design there. I'll close that just to show that up. Down there we got our auxiliary ports. Now again, unfortunately I don't have any speakers, so can't test that out, but we'll try out everything else that we can. Now let's turn this around and open it up again. Okay, here we are. Now we're going to have to, of course, plug it in. And the power port, of course, just goes in the back there by those auxiliary switches. See right there, we've got our red power light just turned on, so we're ready to test the player, so let's grab some records. Now, again, for obvious copyright reasons, I'm only going to play a few seconds of each of these because I don't want to get flagged for copyright, so why don't we start this off with some sticks. Okay, we got an idea of how that sounds. You can tell the sound on here is a little rough because you just got those two very basic speakers that are not of the highest quality. One thing I'll stress throughout this review is this is really an entry-level record player. This is nowhere near being, audiophile level. It's about as casual gets, for better or for worse. But just the same, it's a great entry-level point for that reason. Now let's try out a 45. I mean, I'm a heavy metal guy, so let's throw on some Maiden here. And this 45 just has the regular sized hole, so we don't need the adapter for this one. And make sure we hit our switch down to 45 RPM. Okay, yeah, once again, you can really see how these records sound on this player. It's not a great sounding player, but like I previously said, it's a great entry-level point. We're going to try one more record. We'll try a vintage 45 with the bigger hole so we can try out the adapters. So I thought we'd throw on some talking baseball for this one, change things up a bit. There's our 45. And here's our 45 adapter. This just goes right here. And we're already at 45 RPM because we switched the switch for the last song. And again, this is a vintage 45, so it's probably not going to sound as good as that last one. All right, and there we just tested out a vintage 45, and of course, this is an older 45 than the one I just played, so if you heard any warpage there, that was the record itself and not the player, even if the player is not necessarily the best sounding thing. But we're not quite done yet. I'm going to switch over from the phone to the computer, and we'll try out the Bluetooth feature. Okay, so we're still here. We just switched over to the computer, and we're going to sync these up so that we can test out the Bluetooth feature. First thing I'm going to do, where it says phono here, I'm going to switch that over to where it says BT for Bluetooth. We're going to go to the phone settings here. I don't know how well you can see this on here, but go to settings, Bluetooth. Now we see some things in there. Yeah, I'm missing vintage turntables, the one we want for this. Even though it's not exactly vintage, but okay. So now we'll find our Sirius XM app right down here. And here we got our Golden Earring song going. Picture the album cover there. So yeah, pretty nifty feature there. And there you have it. Overall, I would have to say, I think this is a good entry-level record player. Might make a great gift if you have any friends or family who want to get back into vinyl. But again, it's certainly not something for audiophiles who want the absolute best sound quality. It's an entry-level player, and that's that. Portability is nice, though, and I think people who, again, are just casual fans or getting back into vinyl are really going to enjoy that aspect. And maybe this will be sort of a stepping stone for them to eventually get a bigger, better sound system and become even bigger vinyl enthusiasts. Are you a fan of vinyl records, and have you picked up this Victrola player yet? Comment down below and let me know what you think. Also, remember to subscribe to my channel for more content because I'm always posting new videos, and be sure to like this one if you found it helpful. I'm Taylor T. Carlson. See you next time.